Thank you for joining me. I want to share some highlights of some of the videos I created this year. There was so much content I had to cut in length, it would have easily ran into over an hour, and I didn't want to make the video that long. So sit back and relax and enjoy.
Whatever you believe or opinion on this, I believe in pure facts of science and their findings, not on political or even social will. Republican Joseph Chaplin of Arizona in the House of Representatives. Here is a quote from him. "We didn't wear masks to slow AIDS, and we survived it." Oh my God, really? What a misleading message, and I hope not for a second anyone believes this. Back in the 1980s, there were first responders and healthcare workers that were afraid to even touch AIDS patients. There had to be laws passed for first responders, doctors, and dentists, so they could not refuse treatment for AIDS patients. Princess Diana led the pathway to show that she could touch and even hug AIDS patients. Unmasking the truth on HIV/AIDS at the time needed to happen. To spread unfounded fear and misinformation causes much pain and division in our society. Do your research in reliable sources and double check your facts. Blips can be caused by infections, such as the flu, herpes, or a recent vaccination. Some blips are just lab errors though. An increase in viral load could happen for many reasons, such as not taking ARTs regularly, what you're taking isn't the right dosage, or the HIV has mutated. So when is a person's viral load considered durability undetectable? This happens when your test results come back undetectable for at least 7 to 12 months, and you remain on treatment. After all this, by the way, it's very highly unlikely that you will ever develop drug resistance or a viral rebound, and now you're not at any risk of spreading the disease to your sexual partner. Can you test negative for HIV if you're undetectable? The bottom line, if you're living with HIV and have an undetectable viral load, you will still test positive for HIV.
I want to give a special thanks to Christopher Knox for sitting down and talking about this important topic of himself living with HIV. I met him through a web forum called myhivteam.com. Look for the full-length video on my playlist.
You were diagnosed with HIV in December of 2016. Please share with us the time of exposure, and I think a lot of people want to know if you experienced any acute HIV symptoms.
Basically, it was just like headaches and a little bit of vomiting and dizziness, and I decided to go on medication because Arch and Guelph, I found that support group, and they told me that HIV is no longer a death sentence.
That's right.
And that it is treatable.
Came across a quote from a man who actually deleted it today, and I don't know if it was YouTube or him, but I want to share this comment. I'm going to say it's a quote. I want your reaction to it, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, I do not understand why HIV is still a problem. Why don't people want to use condoms? The best way to prevent this tragedy, but people continue to bear back and not use protection. And I am totally against PrEP. The drug is for lazy whores who don't want to put on a rubber. That is pretty mean and cruel, and sorry, I'm actually commenting on it. It's upsetting me.
But don't they know that U equals U and HIV has come a long way since the 80s and early 90s, because back then it's a complete death sentence and now it's not.
That's right. That's total ignorance what this man has commented. He's part of the problem of the social stigma, thinking that way. It's nobody's fault. It's human nature to have sex. And I'm sorry, but using a condom every time is not going to happen. How old is this guy? He's saying rubbers. That's an ancient term for condoms, I think.
The injection is for people with HIV who are under 50 and their viral load is suppressed. Health Canada has also approved it in pill form. So the patient would take it for a month, and they would monitor if there's any severe side effects. If there is, then they would just simply go back to their regular medication. People with HIV should not take Cabenuva if their test shows the virus has a resistance to the medication. It's 2 shots and would be injected in the buttocks. I'm guessing 2 cheeks. I don't know how it would feel if you trying to sit down afterwards. My thoughts on this. Well, for the most part, I don't mind taking daily medication because it's in my routine. I never forget, it's going on 4 years and I've only missed 1 dose, and I think that's pretty good. I have a busy schedule with work and other things, and I find it quite inconvenient to go once a month. I see there is research though that in the future that they could make it so you could have your injections once every 8 weeks as opposed to 4. Let me know what you think about injections over oral medication daily in the comments below. I found myself I had to educate people over the years what it means to be homosexual. And it's not all that I am, by the way. I hear people today in all different ages and stages in their lives are struggling with their own sexuality. Some have gone and run out, did the traditional thing and got married and had children. And then they turn around and go, my, what have I done? What do I do now? Always remember you're not alone in this though. The most important thing is to do what makes you happy and be honest with yourself and the people around you who love you. It may be tough at first, but trust me, it'll be proved to be liberating. What I did back in the day coming out, I surrounded myself with a whole group of people who were like-minded and gave me support that I really needed. I put myself out there and I was willing to give up just about anything to have this freedom. Not everyone agreed or will agree with my lifestyle. I know it's not a choice to be gay, but it was a choice not to keep it a secret. And that's fine. As I got older, I learned not to let anyone have the power to undermine my existence. What I believe in myself is the truth, and I project that to others. Years later, I was diagnosed with HIV in 2017, and I had to face new challenges in social stigma, but I had already gained this knowledge through the years of being gay. Again, education is key. Being HIV positive, you need to know the facts. Someone I know, which he wants to remain anonymous, had been diagnosed with HIV back in 1989. He ended up developing AIDS and was put in the hospital and nearly lost his life. Added to that, tragically, he developed some rare disease in his spine, so now he's in and out of a wheelchair for life. By 1996, when the medications were available, he started on treatment, and now it's under control. But sadly, yes, he has a disability for the rest of his life. I feel for this man for the rough road that he had to go through, and he kept silent about his diagnosis to most of his family. Don't let anyone fool you out there. There is no cure for HIV for the last 40 years. I can't stress enough, get tested, and do not ignore possible acute HIV symptoms. I talk about this in a few of my videos. Early signs of HIV in men, my acute symptoms answered, and my HIV symptoms pre-diagnosis.
A big shout out to Rebecca Lynn and her podcast, Sunshine and Coffee. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you.
I was diagnosed with HIV at the age of 41 in August 2nd of 2017, and that's a date I will never forget.
So how did you feel when you were diagnosed? It wasn't that long ago, and I know that times have definitely changed now.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the differences when you were diagnosed compared to now?
Naturally, I felt devastated. When I was first told, I wondered how the treatment, how much it would cost, how it would affect my body, the side effects. I was already dealing with the acute HIV symptoms at that time. I'm wondering if they would clear up those problems, like I had vertigo and I had neuropathy in my lower feet and legs. Thankfully, that went away, the vertigo. I still have some neuropathy. I had many questions, so many, like how is this going to affect my dating in the future with stigma, really? And it has affected me throughout the years since I've been diagnosed, within myself and others. Maybe I project it, not sure. Wondering about getting mental health, have someone speak with me and they weren't really forefront about getting me help. I had to do all the legwork. I thought maybe they would just step up and say, okay, you talk to this person, call this one, and got nothing.
Go numbers.
Oh, yeah. So it wasn't all that great of treatment that way.
That was your experience of nobody actually stepping up, because even now, a few years later, and there's still, the resources aren't known for a lot of mental health.
True.
And that's sad, especially in Canada, when we can put out that information so easily.
Absolutely. No
They're
kidding.
They're so covered up.
Right. Yeah, and it needs to change. And actually speaking about it is one of the great steps of getting change, right? Getting people talking
100%.
about it.
So what actually inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
Well, I was talking to people and slowly coming out, telling them that I'm HIV, and I'm realizing more and more people are not educated
about it anymore. It's not in the media. It's not spoken about. It's not a deadly killer like it used to be. So it's kind of just forgotten about. But it is important to keep in mind that there is no cure. You cannot, if you're on treatment and successfully undetectable, you cannot pass the virus to another person. That's like public health right there. It's just treatment, yourself and others. Also, when I was diagnosed, the nurse told me not to tell anyone except for close family members and friends. And to me, it's like living in an emotional prison. And I followed that guidelines for quite a while, and then finally I had enough. I'm an open person. I've always been an open book, right? And it was eating me up inside, right? So I had to start somewhere, and go doing a YouTube channel. That many people came forward with comments and saying, thank you so much. I actually went and got tested. I wouldn't have got tested. I didn't see your video. I felt like I was doing such an important thing for myself and others, really.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and just think, if you kept that quiet, like they encouraged you to,
yeah,
imagine how many people's lives would be taken because they wouldn't have had the courage, because they lived vicariously through your bravery.
I'm still getting many questions on my YouTube videos about if they gotten infected with HIV. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. For example, can you get HIV from oral? That's a hard no. The main cause of infection is from unprotected anal sex or sharing drug needles. Men are 5 times more likely to get HIV over women. And get this, transmission rates from female to male is only 0.4%. That's incredible.
So to this day, the US has a blanket ban on gay and bisexual men from donating blood. Now, why is this? We know back in the 80s and early 90s, during the AIDS crisis, the HIV virus was getting through the blood supply and it was spreading through transfusions. But times have changed. Estimated number of people living with HIV worldwide in 2020 is 37.7 million. People have died with HIV-related causes in 2020, estimated at 680,000. Newly infected, 1.5 million. And remember, that's just through port. There's people probably walking around that don't even know their status. I added a new playlist this year called Entertainment and History. I must say the most fun I had this year was going out to Pesh Island and filming there. I bought the latest GoPro and I'm looking forward to using it next season. Perhaps I might take it to Bobble Island. I would like to revisit Pesh possibly. Check out my new playlist.
So I'm ready for a deep pore cleansing. So here's what the consistency looks like. It's like mud paste. Okay, well, it's only been about 4 minutes and I'm really feeling it start to really tighten up my face, and it feels incredibly weird. And I look that way too. Oh my god.
I don't think it's gonna be too steady, Jim.
Pesh Island, an 86-acre island uninhabited, situated in the Detroit River at the mouth of Lake St. Clair, between Windsor, Ontario and Detroit, Michigan. Here is where we usually launch from to get to Pesh Island from the Windsor side. The kayak on the left is mine, and my bestie I go with is on the right. And there's the pavilion where people dock their boats. You cannot take any motorboats inside the island, but right there you can. Here we go! That, I would like to know what that was. Maybe it was a dock of some sort. I have no idea. Find some strange things sticking out of the water here and there. This summer we found a nice spot. This little beach area on the other side faces the States. And oftentimes when we go, there's nobody there, but it looks like we have visitors this time. Hello, hello.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe and tap that notification bell. Have a happy and safe holiday season, and look forward to 2022. For now, Michael K. here. Take care, everyone.